Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I'm coming to you with a fun little tag. This is the 25 Facts About Me tag. I was not tagged by anybody, but I saw Emily Boone over at her channel do this, and I'll link her channel in the down bar below. And she tagged anyone who wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it, so here we go. This is just essentially a list of 25 questions about you, and I'm going to put this up completely unedited. I'm just going to let this go as it is, so you guys can see the crazy that is me. I know I don't edit my videos a whole heck of a lot anyway, but I thought that this would be a lot of fun. So these are not the same questions that Emily answered. I found my own questions online, but I will post them all in the down bar below. If you guys are interested in doing this tag, you can use some of my questions or you can find your own, but I would love to see them, so please let me know in the comment section below if you do this tag, because I'd love to see it. So let's get started. What is your middle name? Elizabeth. It's my godmother's middle name, or my aunt's middle name as well. So, and fun fact, Sarah was the most popular name for girls the year that I was born, which was 1979. And Elizabeth was the second most popular middle name. Or Elizabeth was the second most popular name for the year I was born, 1979. Yeah, real original. I went to public school with 6 other Sarahs, and 2 of us were Sarah Elizabeths, so really fun. Next question, what was your favorite subject in school? English. I loved taking English classes. I graduated high school with a diploma in English, and I actually went on to college the first time to do journalism, but that didn't stick. What is your favorite drink? Tea. Tea of any kind. From David's Tea, preferably. Love David's Tea. What is your favorite song at the moment? I have a couple songs. One is not recent. It came out in like the spring or the summer, and it's Crash and Burn by Thomas Rhett. I'm a huge country music fan. And this song, it's actually a breakup song, but every single time it comes on, I have to crank it up because it's just so upbeat. I will leave a link to the video on YouTube in the down bar below so you guys can check it out. He's just adorable, and the video and song are fantastic. The other song that I'm loving right now, which is fairly recent, is called Setting the World on Fire by Kenny Chesney featuring Pink. Again, fantastic song. I will link to it in the down bar below so you guys can check it out. What is your favorite food? Pizza. Yeah, pizza's pretty much, I could eat pizza like all the time. What was the last thing you bought? An ebook. I bought a new ebook. Shocking, I know, right? I will talk about that in my book haul in my next video. But yes, the last thing I purchased was yesterday afternoon. I bought an ebook. My favorite book of all time, Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it would probably be number 1. Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson ranks up there as well. So talk about 2 different ends of the spectrum, but those would have to be, yeah, right up there. My favorite color is orange. My car is orange. I love the color orange. It used to be teal, but now I'm all about the orange. I don't know why. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have 2 cats. Goran and Nicholas, and I used to have 3 cats. Well, I used to have 2 cats, and then Logan passed away in January. It was Goran's brother, like same litter brother, and he passed away. He had diabetes. It's very sad. It's still kind of sad for me to talk about. We have his ashes up over on the bookshelf over there, and that's why I almost said Goran and Logan. Fun fact, they were named after Law and Order detectives. And then we adopted Nicholas in February because Goran needed a friend. He was so used to having a pal, and with Logan gone, poor Goran didn't know what to do with himself, so we got Nicholas. And he's a neurotic, wonderful little cat, and we love him to pieces. My favorite perfume, Tommy Girl by Tommy Hilfiger. That's going back in the day, isn't it? Like, that's showing my age, I think. That came out when I was in high school. That, or there's also perfume from the Gap, again, going back to high school, called Dream. Do any of you remember this? I was in the Gap not that long ago, and I'm like, oh my god, they still have this, and I smelt it, and it took me right back to high school, and it was so funny. But those 2, but as an adult, I would have to say There's one called Blue by Ralph Lauren, which I really, really love. Favorite vacation, I'm assuming that I've taken. My favorite vacation I've ever gone on was when I was a kid. We used to go to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We used to drive. Now, I'm in Toronto, so it was a 2.5-day drive in the car, and I remember just the thrill of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and getting into the car, my brother and I being so excited, and then promptly falling asleep like 20 minutes into the drive. We'd wake up just over the border in Watertown, New York, and we'd be awake for the drive, and I remember the drive being like half the fun. I know that sounds weird. I know some people are not car trip, road trip people. I am totally a road trip person. And especially when you're a kid and you don't have the stress of the actual drive itself, you're just enjoying. We used to go downtown to the world's biggest bookstore leading up to the vacation, so we could get books to take on this vacation, to take on the trip to read in the car and read on the beach. And I have so many fond memories of it, and it's a trip I want to take again with my husband. The two of us to drive down to Myrtle Beach, I think would be a lot of fun. Or Virginia Beach, which is where we started to go the last few years, which is only 2.5 days away. Oh no, only a day and a half away. Myrtle Beach was 2.5 days away. Are you married? I've mentioned my husband. The answer is yes. Have you ever been out of the country? If so, how many times? We did the trip to Myrtle Beach at least 7 or 8 times as a kid, and I've been to Florida. So that's 9, and last year alone, I went to New York State twice on my own. Well, no, once with my husband and once on my own for work. So that's twice, but that's the furthest I've been out of the country. I've been up and down the eastern seaboard of the United States, like, a lot. I have never been anywhere else in Canada. I know, weird, right? I've been north of where we live, but I've never been to the east coast or the west coast, and those are totally on my list of places to go. Do you speak any other languages? No. I am Canadian. I am part French Canadian. My mom's mom is from Quebec. I cannot speak a lick of French. We had to take French in school, and in grade 9, my teacher passed me on a pity pass with 51% because I tried, and I don't have an ear for languages. I have an ear for accents, but not languages. Although now as an adult, I've said to my husband I'm debating on getting like that Rosetta Stone or something and trying to learn French, because it would be good to have. Maybe not, completely written and spoken, but at least enough to get by if I do go to Quebec, because I was in Quebec a couple weeks back for a knitting festival, and everybody there spoke French. And I mean, as soon as you said, no, I'm sorry, English, they immediately converted over to English, which was wonderful. But it would still be nice to have that skill. You know what I mean? How many siblings do you have? Just a brother. Just me and he's my younger brother. He just turned 34. What is your favorite shop? I don't know. It depends on the context. Can I say Amazon? Amazon. Amazon is my favorite shop. Favorite restaurant? Boston Pizza. They have the best. It's called Bandera bread, and it's like their pizza dough, and it's covered with like this garlicky olive oil sauce, and then covered in cheese, and they put it in little slices. It's an appetizer, people. And then you dip it in this like spicy ranch dip. God, it's so good. Yes. Hands down, on our birthdays, my parents always take all of us out, and the person whose birthday it is gets to pick where we go and eat. Every single year I pick Boston Pizza. When was the last time you cried? Well, I didn't cry. My eyes watered. I got a tattoo last Saturday. So, it didn't hurt. I didn't cry, but my eyes watered because it kind of like was annoying. But yeah, that would be it, I think. Although I am a Pisces and highly emotional, so I could cry at the drop of a hat. It just hasn't happened in a while. I've had no reason to, I guess. Favorite blog? I do not read blogs. I watch knitting podcasts. I watch a crap ton of BookTube. And I also listen to audio podcasts on my way to and from work. So if I had to pick my favorites, my favorite knitting podcast would be my own. Can I say that? I happen to like it. I'm sorry. But no, seriously. There are a couple, some of my friends, Jen from the Uncreative Crafter. I love watching her podcast. Sue and Lynn from Two Tangled Skeins. there's a bunch of them. The Bookish Stitcher, because this is BookTube, you guys would love the Bookish Stitcher if you like crafting and stuff. She also talks about books a bit in her podcast. I talk a bit about what I'm currently reading in my podcast too. For BookTube, I adore watching Emily's videos, and I mentioned her at the very beginning of this. Steve Donahue I'm a fan of. I just love how candid he is. Like, he says what he wants to say, and I completely appreciate that, with no editing and nothing, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. There are a bunch of others. I tend to not watch the bigger name booktubers because, excuse me, I find that they read mostly YA, which is not my choice of book, and I used to read a lot, I mean, to the point where I think I had 300 on my list of people that I was subscribed to, and I cut it right down to only people that I really had a shared book interest in. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's made BookTube even more enjoyable for me. Audio podcasts. There are two great audio podcasts that I listen to. One is called Stuff You Missed in History Class. And it is fantastic. And I think they put out like 2 episodes a week. And they're roughly about 20 minutes to half an hour long. And it's about some like obscure historical subject. Sometimes they're more famous, but a lot of the times it's a little bit obscure. And it's so interesting to hear about all these different historical people and times and things that happen. I love it. The other one is a new one. I've only listened to 2 episodes, and it's called Lore. And essentially the same idea as Stuff You Missed in History Class, but it's more of a paranormal spin on a historical event. Totally, totally fun. I highly recommend you check both of them out. Like I said, both of them are only about a half an hour long. They're a quick listen to on your way to work. Next question, favorite movie. I'll be honest, I'm not a big movie person. I can't tell you the last time I went to go see a movie in a theater. I don't sit down and watch movies at home. We have a lot of movies, but my husband's a huge movie buff. I am not. If I had to pick a favorite movie, it would probably be Gone with the Wind. Up there also with my favorites, movies that I could watch again. Because to me, like books, once you've seen a movie once, you don't need to see it again. You know how it ends. That's my thought process. But there are some of my favorite books I will reread. Same as there's some favorite movies I'll rewatch. So those movies are ones that go back to my childhood, and those would be like Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights, both Mel Brooks films. Monty Python and the Secret of the Holy Grail. Is that what that one's called? I can't remember. I love that one. Oh my god, that's like... all I keep thinking is the rabbit with his big teeth. I can't say it the way they do. Oh, Fever Pitch. I absolutely love Fever Pitch. For those of you who have not seen it, it's a romantic comedy with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. And he's a huge Red Sox fan, and I'm a huge Red Sox fan, and I love it. I watch it every single year at the beginning of baseball season. It's like tradition. Favorite TV show. I have a couple. We don't watch a lot of new television because my husband and I actually no longer have cable. We got rid of cable because we found we were watching a lot of Netflix and YouTube, and we just figured, why are we paying like $80 a month for something we're not even using? So modern shows, I really don't have a lot of them, but for older shows, I have recently started watching Gilmore Girls on Netflix, and I love it. I have 4 seasons of The Golden Girls. I know, I'm really going back in the day. On DVD that I've been watching, but my all-time favorite show, and The X-Files. The X-Files also, right up there, love it. I marathoned the entire thing again on Netflix. But hands down, my favorite television show of all time is Law & Order. I own a box set of the complete 20-season set. The whole thing. I don't want to tell you what it cost me on eBay, but I got it, and I'm so happy. And I'm slowly working my way through the series. And I'm gonna, once I'm done, work my way through it again. I don't know what it is about Law & Order, but I absolutely love it. I just love crime drama. So, that show, absolute favorite. PC or a Mac? I'm a PC girl. I'm not a fan of Apple products. I don't know why. It's just not my thing. You know, my tablet is Samsung. My phone is Samsung. I have a PC laptop. So, yeah, I'm not an Apple girl. We had Apple phones, my husband and I, last year or the year before, and we just were not impressed with them. What phone do you have? Well, I just answered that one. I have a Samsung Galaxy, and I absolutely love it. Android phones are fantastic. How tall are you? I am roughly about 5'5" or 5'6", depending on if I'm slouching that day. But yeah. Can you cook? I can cook macaroni and I can cook macaroni and cheese, as we call it up here in Canada, Kraft dinner, as you guys in the States call it, Kraft macaroni and cheese. My husband, when we do have it, because, you know, we're fancy like that, when we do have macaroni and cheese, he makes me make it because I make it the best. I also, sorry, there's a fly in here. I also make this awesome chicken dish, chicken and stuffing, that you put in the oven. So you, in case you guys, a quick little recipe for you guys, if you're ever looking for a quick meal, it's boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and you put them in the bottom of a shallow baking dish. You cover it with any kind of cream soup that you like. I typically use cream of chicken, but you could use cream of mushroom or anything at all like that. Just cover it, don't dilute it, just cover it up with that. And then we use frozen vegetables, like frozen broccoli and carrots and stuff. You can use fresh if you like. Just throw that all on top and make it a huge mess of whatever. And then get the stovetop stuffing mix, like in the box, and make it. And then put it on top of that whole mess of stuff that you've now got in your dish. Cover it with tinfoil, stick it in the oven, 350 degrees for about 40 minutes or so, depending on how thick your chicken breasts are. Then take the tinfoil off for the last like 15 minutes to let the stuffing brown. Oh my God, it is one of the best meals, and it is dead simple to make. You could put it all together and stick it in your fridge and leave it, and then when you get home from work at night, just shove it in the oven. Or what my husband and I have now done too is put it in the crock pot. So essentially done the same thing, but then put it in the crock pot. The only thing we don't do is put the stuffing mix on. We wait, cook the stuffing, and then put it on at the very, like, you know, eat it, like spoon it onto our plates when we have everything else. To die for, fantastic. My mom taught me that recipe years ago, and I absolutely love it. So anyway, guys, that was the 25 questions tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you liked this completely unedited video of me drinking tea and tripping over my words and all that other fantastic stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this, please please feel free to do the tag yourself. Again, I'm going to post all the questions in the down bar below. And if you do the tag, please let me know and post down below, and I can come and watch yours. Until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye. Oh, that's some good tea.